Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how to convert your voice to text using Python and then use that to create a dictation app to store your voice notes. So let's start off by pip installing the two modules that will be required, speech recognition and PyAudio. So once you have installed that, go ahead and create a main.py file, and then I'm going to start off by importing the speech recognition module. I will then create an object of the recognizer class, which is found in speech recognition. Basically it represents a collection of speech recognition functionalities. So let me name it as R for recognizer. Create speech recognition dot recognizer. So this is the bundle of speech recognition functionality I'm encapsulating into the variable R. Now I'm going to also create an object of my microphone, which lets the Python program access our microphone and extract data from it. So thankfully speech recognition also comes with its own microphone class, which automatically selects the default microphone as the input. So I will use it in a context manager so that it automatically closes once it's done using the microphone. So with r dot microphone speech recognition, right? Yeah, microphone, and I'll give the name as mic. Okay, now before going to actually recording our voice, there is something known as ambient noise. So ambient noise is the default noise levels in our room. For algorithms to function properly, they require our voice to be isolated. So for that reason, we will let this program record some of our ambient noise in our room. Once it records our ambient noise, it can then use it to remove that ambient noise from the actual speech data, so that only our voice without ambient noise can be converted, if that makes sense. So there is this method known as adjust for ambient noise, and it requires a source and a duration. The source is from where you want to record. So since we have it as the mic object, I'm going to pass in mic, and then the duration. By default the value is 1. So this is how many seconds you want this function to run. So if you want 1 second of your ambient noise to be recorded, then the more the value, the greater accurate it will be to in removing the ambient noise. But I think for all intents and purposes 1 second should be fine. So duration, I'll set it to 1. So now that we have adjusted for the ambient noise, we will then ask the user to start speaking. We will then make use of a function called listen, which is part of the recognizer. So I will tell you what it does. R dot listen, and it requires a source, which is the mic. So what this function does is it's going to record audio from your microphone or whatever source you pass in until and unless it detects a pause, and then it's going to convert that data into an audio data format and store it in this audio variable. What it does is whatever we speak is converted into audio, and that audio data is stored in this audio variable. Once we are done with this, we no longer require our microphone, so we will come out of the context, and now we will tell the user that we have done recording voice. And now comes the fun part, where we are actually going to convert the audio to speech. Now there are multiple algorithms already there to convert speech to text. Like for example, Google has its own speech API, Amazon has Transcribe. Luckily the speech recognition module comes bundled with most of these. R dot recognize. So we can see there are multiple algorithms or multiple ways you can convert. IBM, Lex, Pings, Google. I'll use Google since that's the most popular one. And this function requires the audio data. So the audio data, basically the audio whatever you have recorded, which is in our audio variable, I'll pass in that. Let me go inside this function to see what it does. So this function basically what it does is it takes our audio, it converts it into some FLAC data, which is an audio format, and then sends that data to the Google API, speech API. This is the same API that is used by other Google products such as Google Search and Google Assistant. So you can expect a high level of accuracy, and it's going to send a request to that and then get the response from it. That response will contain the text. So basically what it does is it gets the audio, sends it to Google, Google analyzes the audio, converts it into text for us and returns it back into this text module, into this text variable. So now let's just check it out whether it is printing, if it's able to do that. So I'm printing the text, so let me run this. So this is an example of text to speech. Yeah, says done recording. Right, so we can see it's highly accurate. So this is an example of text to speech. Whatever I spoke got converted, and it's pretty fast also, if you've noticed. So that's good. So now we have the hard work is done. The converting from audio to text is done here. Now that we know how to convert speech to text, we can then use this converted speech to add to our note with the date, so that whenever we run this program, it automatically converts our voice to text and adds it to a notes file, also appending the time at which the note was created. So for that, I've created a markdown file with a table with two columns, one with date and the other notes. So the date column will contain the date at which the date was created, and the note will contain the note text. So if I preview this markdown file, this is how it's shown. So now let's see how we can add the note to our notes file. So now the text is the actual note. So this part of it is stored in text. We need to also get the date. So for date, it's pretty straightforward. There is a date time module in Python. So we will import that. From date time, import the date time method. So we need the date in a particular format. So for that, we will use the datetime string format function. So datetime dot format. So format using strftime. So this requires two parameters. First is the actual datetime object, and the other is the format in which we want to convert it. So since we want the current date, we will use datetime.today. So this will give you information about, this will return today's date and today's time, at what point this function is called, which is what we require in this case. And then the other format is what format we want the date in. So we'll use the default format, what they have mentioned here. So I'll just copy this and paste it as a string. You can change it to whatever format you want, but I think this should be enough for now. So you can check online what are the different format strings available for strftime. So here %d means date, %m means month, capital Y is year with 4 digits, and capital H is hour in 24-hour format, and M is minute, S is for seconds. Okay, I'll store it into a variable. I will call it note date. So now our note date contains the date in a particular format. And also when we looked at the markdown file, we can see it's not just the date plus the actual note. In markdown syntax, we require these pipe characters to specify that these are row and column dividers. Once it encounters the first pipe, it knows that it is for the first column, and then the subsequent one is for the subsequent column, and so forth. We will create a markdown text variable, and using f strings in Python, we will then format it. So we need we'll go back. So here we need 3 pipes, and between the first and second pipe we need the date. So let's put the date there. So the note date, what we need, note date. And between the second and third pipe we need the actual text. So let's add that. we need to also specify go to the next line, so that the next note will be written in the next line. Otherwise it will be it'll basically try to write on the same line and again here. Within the line number 5 it keeps going to write. To overcome that, we will also append a new line character. So it'll write the part here and then go to the next line. Alright, so that is our text. Now we simply need to append it to our file. Since the file name is notes.md, I will open that file giving notes.md, and I want to append to the file, so I'll give a as I'll give the file object name as md. Then we'll just do md.write and write whatever I wanted. So we wanted the md text here. This will write the markdown text, and once it's written, we'll just inform the user that notes has been saved. Alright, so let's check if this works now. I will run this program. Hi, this is an example of converting my voice to text and then appending to a file. Yeah, so you can see that it has got the thing and it says notes has been saved. And now if I go here, we can see that it has I'll just expand this. So in the notes.md, it has appended the date in that particular format, so 7/10/2023 with the date, and also the note has been saved. Now if I run this once more, this is another note. So we can see it has automatically appended. Now this is the preview. To actually see the file how it has written, we go to the notes.md file, and we can see okay, let me just close this so that it's more visible. So here it gets the date, puts the pipe, then the text, and puts the pipe, and then puts the new line character so that the file points to the next line. So the next note comes to the next line, and if I preview this, it is. So you can see that this is how it is done.